This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
What is up, Spurs Nation? It's good to be with you here on a small, short episode of a Bucking Spurs podcast. I appreciate you guys stopping in and tuning in. I just want to talk about the Maverick game last night really quick. I went into it in detail last night on the Two Shots podcast with Joe Garcia, so go ahead and check that out. But basically, I want to talk about why I thought we played better. We just were more consistent defensively from the first quarter to the last quarter. We didn't give up more than 30 points in a quarter. We only gave up 30 once. Other than that, it was like 24, 25, 29, something like that. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the defense that it's going to take. How many times have we given up 40 points in a quarter this season? Too many times to too many sorry teams. And we didn't let it happen last night against the Mavricks, which is huge. Guys, we won some big games before this season, but it never led to 2 or 3 more wins. It never turned into a winning streak for us, and that's why I'm kind of taming myself down a little bit right now. It's because I don't expect this win to be the win that's going to put us over the edge and make us go on this crazy 13-5 run or whatever it is for the remaining of the year. That's unrealistic. To go 13, 12-5 from 4, whatever it is, that's unrealistic because we have a tough schedule. We're going to play Houston twice, Philadelphia, Denver. We're going to play Golden State. Golden State got Steph Curry back. Sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. I don't know, whatever. But when Steph Curry's there, they look just as good as they used to look, and they look scary, right? So any team still scares us, But last night was a special game in a few different ways. One, I think, with DeJounte Murray hurt, Derrick White felt the freedom to do what Derrick White wants to do. And to me, Derrick White was the X factor in last night's game. His defensive tenacity was there. His fourth quarter play is more what I want to talk about. He was the guy in the fourth quarter that wanted the ball, not just the ball just to go and score. It's not the quarterback, it's not the NFL where he just wants the ball in his hands. But, Derrick White wanted the ball because he knew he was going to make the right play. He wasn't going to turn it over. He was going to find the open guy. He got LaMarcus Aldridge an open shot, DeMar an open shot. And whenever he went to the hole and tried to create and he couldn't, create an opportunity for himself, he was mad. And to me, this was a lot of, DeJounte not being there. And guys, I'm going to say it and not... I know a lot of you guys out there aren't going to like this take, but we're better with Derrick White. And I thought it was a mistake from the get-go to give DeJounte Murray Derrick White's spot back. Last year, Derrick White proved he can be a starting point guard in this league. He can be a guy that takes over games for you in the playoffs. He's done it all. He did it all last season. So for us to just be like, oh, here, DeJounte, here's your spot back. Derrick White's going to come off the bench. I thought that was a big mistake. Not that I don't think that, DeJounte can't start or shouldn't start with us. I would like them to start together, but I understand the spacing problems that creates and blah, blah, blah. Even though it took a half a season to get these guys on the floor together for more than just a few minutes, right? So, Derrick White took the opportunity last night to show that, hey, I'm still here. I can still be the guy, and I think he can, and I think he should be. I don't think I'm not on the boat on the bandwagon of just let's give it to DeJounte Murray. He's the next guy in line. He's the guy that's been here for 3 or 4 years, and yeah, he has been here now for 3 or 4 years, and we're still. I know this is the year that DeJounte was gonna take the leap, or it was supposed to be last year, but Derrick White is here now. Derrick White is ready now. So tell me why Derrick White shouldn't be starting and DeJounte coming off the bench for a season, for 2 seasons, until they figure this thing out, how they can coexist together. Because my biggest fear is to see Derrick White leave. I think we got him for 1 more year after this, but after that, he might be gone. So what do we do? Do we let him walk? Do we keep him here? Is it DeJounte's team? And are we just going to build, around DeJounte? I don't like that. I think Derrick White has given us everything. He's developed in our system. He understands our system, and he's a game changer. He's a game changer on both ends of the floor when he's in the game. And this season, we just haven't seen it because his role has been different. His role has been, getting the second string going, getting that bench going, and learning how to play with those guys versus playing with the starting unit very well like he did all season. So Derrick White was the guy last night. I know Luka went off for 38 points, but Derrick White was D'ing everybody up. He was communicating. He was putting in the second, third efforts there last night, and it was just so good to see, right? So Derrick White was my X factor last night. I'm proud of the effort he put in. I think he's going to give us. He gives us that same effort every night, and every time we lose games to Brooklyn, to Cleveland, to all these teams that we're not supposed to lose to, I see Derrick White after the game, and he looks pissed. I'm sure everyone else is pissed, but he looks like he hates losing. And last night against the Mavs, I felt like he was just in that mode where he was thinking, we are not going to lose this game. I am not going to let us lose this game. And he did that for us last night, especially late in the third quarter. It was good to get LaMarcus Aldridge back. It was even very good to get Marco Bellinelli back. Bellinelli looked like 2013-14 Bellinelli, where he's just hitting every shot he takes. He shot very well. LaMarcus Aldridge picked up the slack there in the second half. He started off hitting a couple shots, and it's good to see that back on the court because, man, he is another guy just like DeMar. It's like we give the ball to him and we're like, hey, go get a bucket. And DeMar's been doing that spectacularly for since LaMarcus Aldridge has been out. And last night, LaMarcus Aldridge came back, had a good game, 24 points, 23 points, whatever it was. DeMar DeRozan only had 13, right? But I've been saying it for a long time. I mean, if we're going to keep one of these two guys, it's got to be LaMarcus. Why? Because it gives opportunity for the offense. It gives opportunity to our defense to get more stops. And I love DeMar, and he's been holding it down for us in San Antonio. We're never going to forget that. But then again, we had DeMar all season. We had LaMarcus Aldridge for most of the season, and it wasn't good enough to be a 500 team. If you look at Shaq, this game was nationally televised on TNT, and Shaq said it was disturbing. Shaq says disturbing that with these two guys, that San Antonio hasn't been able to figure it out. They're always a team that figures it out along the way, and this year, that the fact that they're a below 500 team is disturbing. So Shaq, you're not the only one that's disturbed by all this. All right, but last night was a great game. Let's enjoy this game. It was against Dallas. We know that makes this win a little bit more sweeter, because Dallas had whooped our tail. I mean, Luka's averaging a 30-point triple-double against us, and I think he did that again last night. But hey, Dallas hadn't swept the Spurs in a season series, in a regular season series for, I think, ever. So last night was a huge win because else Dallas would have gotten that sweep. So good for us. Great win. Our bench came out to play. Patty Mills, Rudy Gay, Marco Bellinelli. And you know what, guys? We're just way better when Trey Lyles is being effective. I think that's sneaky under the line, behind the curtain, our key X factor to us being consistent or not is Trey Lyles going to be a type of guy who just gets everybody involved, or is Trey Lyles going to be a guy who makes things happen? And when he's the guy that makes things happen, that starting unit is very good. When Trey is scoring, getting offensive rebounds, getting putback buckets, helping everyone else get involved. But he himself is being effective. That's the Trey Lyles we need. And when we get that Trey Lyles, we're pretty damn good, but it's just too far in between. The inconsistency, the past two games, Rudy Gay has come alive, and it's like, man, thank God, because we just gave him a huge contract, and he hasn't played up to it this season until recently, but it's a little bit too late, on that front. We needed this Rudy Gay from the get-go, so, Keldon Johnson seeing a lot more minutes. Keldon Johnson had a great opportunity last night to show what he can do on the defensive end. He started off in that second quarter guarding Luka a few times, and then they put him on Tim Hardaway Jr. when he came in the game. So Keldon Johnson had a big defensive assignment last night, and yeah, he got cooked a few times by Luka, but so did everybody. But then Keldon Johnson came back, and Keldon Johnson was able to put the clamps on Luka, and then turned into a wide open three for Bellinelli going down the other way. But the best thing that I like about Keldon Johnson is that he's a guy that when everyone else does something good on the court, and he's on there or off the court, he's jumping up and he's excited. And there was this one play where Derrick White got the rebound and Keldon Johnson took off, just sprinted the lane. And what that did was it opened up a lane, a clear wide open dunk for Derrick White. And when Derrick White did that, Keldon Johnson was ecstatic, jumping up and down, just because he was able to help create that play. He helped create that play just by sprinting his tail off down the lane. Didn't do anything else, but we got a bucket. So Keldon Johnson is earning his keep. I'm so proud of him, proud of Drew Eubanks with the minutes that he's getting. I want to see, Chizemi up here. I want to see Quindary and Luka start taking advantage and do the same thing. Lonnie Walker was out, so there was that there. Now we got a tough game against Denver in front of us at home, luckily. So hopefully we can get Lonnie back. Hopefully we can be a little bit more healthy going into that game, and let's try to get the win. All right, so that's going to be it for this episode of Bucking Spurs. Time to get back to work. That was my little take on the Mavs game last night. Go Spurs, go. Make sure to follow us on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast jam on. We're probably there. Go to buckingspurs.com for everything else that we're doing on YouTube, wherever. You can find us there at buckingspurs.com. Go Spurs, go.